Hey everybody, Hans Herky here, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm in London, at the Tower of London, with my childhood nanny, Sue Laurie. Yes, she watched after me and my brothers and my little sister when we were quite troublemakers back in the day, right Sue?
Yep.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna go check out the Tower of London today, so let's go.
Work with the skeleton chest. Quickly go fantastic, found gold and silver. All about the skeleton remains of 2 small children. Explicit day, they must be in this agreement. So, on orders of the king, the remains are placed on the urn, designed by Christopher Wren himself, and re-interred in Westminster Abbey. The spot's become known as Innocents' Corner. That's where those 2 children remain. I'm going to take you through the archway. If I walked in, I have to point out to you the 2 spiked bars, on the inside of the archway, halfway up. They're known as Wellington's chairs. They're installed in the orders of the Duke of Wellington to stop his soldiers hiding in the dark corners, smoking their pipes and drinking beer whilst on sentry duty. But my health and safety advisor wishes me to tell you that those 2 spiky metal bars are very spiky and very metal. If you try and sit on them, you'll find out that spiky metal bars are both spiky and metal. If you take your child, try and place it inside for a cheap photograph, if they slip, they will impale themselves upon the spiky metal bars. And so, in the words of my health and safety advisor, they're spiky! They're made of metal! Leave me alone.
I was just standing in the shade.
Awesome.
She'd come here at least once a week
Yeah.
to the tower, yeah.
Make her weekly visit. Oh, there she is. Torture at the Tower. I have not been in there, so I might have to go in there. You ever been in there?
I think I've been to most of them, but a while ago.
This guy reminds me of what's it? Michael Palin from
Oh yeah.
Monty
I'm gonna go
Python.
stand in the shadow.
Okay.
As I say, folks, I can only apologise for you stood there in your shorts and t-shirts and your nice summery hats. It must be terrible for you. Okay? We're now standing. You need an award for the Tower of to your front. William Gilbert Keith, known as the White Tower, the tallest tower in the complex. On orders of William the Conqueror, work began in 1078. It took 20 years to complete under the guidance of Gundulf of Beck. Now, when I first got here to the tower, I believed Gundulf was to be a wizard who lived in Middle Earth. But apparently no, that man's called Gandalf, and Gundulf was the Bishop of Rochester. 92 feet tall on completion at the time, until Lincoln Cathedral was completed. This is the tallest man-made structure in the whole of Europe. On each corner stands a turret, 3 are square, 1 is round. In round 1, the world's first observatory was established. On top of the turrets, you see a crown in gold leaf. The British Weathervane, showing the royal standard. When these appear together, there's a tower still the royal palace, but no longer a royal residence. But there is cited the fact all our kings and queens lived here for over 500 years. The royal family lived mainly on the top floor. The floor below is the council chamber, banqueting hall, accommodation for their ladies, in the corner, the chapel of St. John the Evangelist. Lowest floor of windows was occupied by soldiers, servants, and retainers. Now there is another floor that's below ground level. There are no windows and only 1 door. It is dark! It is damp! It's evil! Guess what we use that for? Wine, of course. We also keep a really good claret, apart from the dark, damp cellar. However, parts of the floor can have a seriously used as a dungeon, and as you say, later, the torture chamber. Here, the rack. Another instance of torture we use for poor, unfortunate victims. But do not fear. These walls at the bottom here are 15 feet thick. They were soundproof. We could not hear a thing. It was so peaceful. However, if you go through that space today, which you will, if you go inside the White Tower, if you pause and you listen very hard, some people say, even today, in that space there, you can still hear the cries, the screams, and the whimpers of those tortured souls because that space is just full to the brim with what can be described as evil. We have christened that evil here inside the Tower of London the brand new gift shop. And those prices are truly, truly torturous. Now this is the tower where kings and queens lived. And shortly, I'll show you the spot where some of them died. But before we move on, I have to talk to you about the Tower Ravens, who all appear to have gone. However, no, seagull close. The large blackbirds are a very popular visitor attraction, and they are the largest members of the crow family. They were here before the tower was built, nesting in the trees, later in the turrets. Over the years, superstition or legend dictates if ever the ravens leave the Tower of London, the White Tower will crumble into dust and our monarchy shall fall. Now, fortunately, here at the Tower, we do not believe in superstition or legend. It's merely a coincidence we've got 6 ravens, but currently we've got 11 just in case. And they're fed with a daily ration of healthy food. Now, one of my colleagues is known as the Raven Master. He's responsible for looking after the birds and their welfare, as well as carrying out his normal yeoman warder duties. But if any of you have seen the Raven Master on TV recently, let's face it, who hasn't? Because he's always on TV. Or in fact, read one of his latest books. If you can let the rest of the yeoman body know what his normal duties are, we'd love to find out. Because he's either over there playing with his birds, at TV Centre appearing on TV, or at home writing one of his books, while I stand here in the glaring sunlight doing this. But the Raven Master is as mysterious and definitely as evil as his birds. So, if you see him today, he's working, there's a raven badge just here on his arm. If you see him, do not, I repeat, do not tell the Raven Master I have no idea what he does all day.
He's funny.
Now standing on Tower Green, Village Green of the Tower of London. So any village green, any other village anywhere in this great country except for one thing. In the middle of other village greens, you will find a cricket square, a tennis court, or a bowling green. But here, middle of our green, we have something very, very different. The hideous coffee table right there! That glass monstrosity serves as the point of execution here within the green. Only 6 people have been beheaded here, 3 of those Queens of England. Before I tell you about those though, I'll describe the buildings that surround Tower Green. Look to your left, behind that big tree at the bottom is a square tower. That is the entrance to the bloody tower. Now moving round, we have an L-shaped black and white building where above the door is carved the Queen's House. Any idea why we call the Queen's House the Queen's House? It's the Queen's House, yes! Anyway, stands on the site of what's really a building which serves as Lieutenant's lodging. This was all placed by Sir Edmund Walsingham, Lieutenant of the Tower during the reign of Henry VIII. It's agreed to pay the sum of money required to rebuild it. What you see there now is the result. A perfectly preserved 1538 Tudor mansion. One of only 5 all timber frame buildings to survive the Great Fire of London of 1666. It's now home to the Baron of Richmond, the Lord Horton, the Constable of the Tower of London, the Queen's eyes, ears and snitch here within the tower. Being home of important officials, we've kept important prisoners there too. The Marquis of Talbot-Dean and the Lord Lovett, 2 of the 4 Scottish lords imprisoned in the Tower on the failure of the Second Jacobite Rebellion, 1745, led by Bonnie Prince Charlie. Both spent time in our house prior to their deaths. And much earlier, Queen Catherine Howard, 5th wife of Henry VIII, spent time there prior to her death. William Penn is another famous prisoner held on the first floor of the Queen's House for offensive writing. As a prisoner, William compiled a controversial pamphlet called No Cross, No Crown. He had committed treason, and as such should have been condemned to death. However, we condemned William Penn to a fate far, far, far worse than death, banishment. Banishment was not a fate far worse than death. Where we banished William Penn to, most certainly was. Because
America.
we banished him across the Atlantic to the Americas. And as I say, a fate far worse than death. Where he founded his famous Quaker colony of
Pennsylvania.
We like Pennsylvania. Yes, we do. Right. This is a phenomenon of COVID-19, ladies and gentlemen. Prior to COVID-19, I'd ask that question. What is Pennsylvania like? Everybody in the crowd would go, never go to Pennsylvania, it is so boring. However, since COVID-19, I now ask that question, we go, yes, you should go, it's really nice. So whatever Pennsylvania Tourist Board did during lockdown, I salute you, because apparently now it's better than Disney. Anyway, the last state prisoner of town London was Rudolf Hess, deputy leader of Nazi Germany. He spent 4 days in May 1941 on the top floor of the Queen's House. Sure you know, London, May 1941, bit of the health and safety hazard in the city, mainly the Luftwaffe and their bombers. Adolf Hitler was incensed to be held the deputy leader of Germany here, so one of his plans was to flatten the tower to get to Rudolf Hess. So after only 4 days, moved into most countryside, away from his own bombs for the rest of the war. And further round, we have the Beacon Tower. Behind that tall ice window there is the State's prison room, used mainly during the Tudor period. In there are 91 notable inscriptions carved into the stonework of the walls. Many of them are over 500 years old. A bit further round, we have a really tall, really skinny tree. Yes! Yes! Oh, right. Anybody here suffering from hay fever today?
Yeah.
Right, it's those trees' fault. They're called London planes. The Victorians, in their wisdom, cross-pollinated sycamores and oriental planes to purify the air. They suck in all the toxins, they lose them through their bark and give us glorious oxygen. However, what the Victorians did not tell us was, every morning at dawn, they erupt this enormous cloud of pollen the size of duck eggs. And so, if you're suffering today, blame the Victorians. However, behind that tall skinny tree is a tall skinny house. It used to be the home of the town doctor, the royal physician. Now, we lost our doctor recently, unfortunately, after 30 years of service, so we now have a vacancy. HRP.org, if you're a doctor, if you know any, that would be your house. We turn around, we've got the home of Untitled Chapter. The light gentleman there has the best job in the city of London. He only works 1 day a week. Look, working 1 day a week is very strenuous, obviously, so he has to have the whole of August off. It's also, in his contract, he's not allowed to take any more than 10 steps from his front door to his office, the Chapel Royal, St. Peter, and Beefeater. Right. Moving round. We have the longest, newest building here inside the town of London, the Waterloo Barracks. That stands on the site of the Grand Storehouse, destroyed by fire in 1841. That building was built in 1845 as a barracks for 1,000 soldiers in the tower. It's now home to the crown jewels, which are entered through the doors below the large gold clock. But the bane of our lives, when we stand over there where Dave is right now, people coming up to us and asking us, excuse me, where's the entrance to the crown jewel? I have just told you. What I was telling you, half of you were looking at me, other half looking at the RF regiment over there, marching up and down. Not one of you were looking in the right place. So, indulge me. Everybody, face that way. Are you ready? In the centre, the longest, newest building here inside the Tower of London, you will see a great big gold clock. Beneath that great big gold clock is a set of large wooden doors. Above those doors, there's a massive sign. And if you read it, or somebody reads it to you, will say, the crown jewel. Now I know that's very confusing, and so, right here in front of you, there's a signpost. One arm was going towards big gold clock, big wooden doors, big sign. The signpost says, they're there! Right! Back to the coffee table. Only 6 people executed here, 3 of those Queen's of England. Our first victim, 1536, was Queen Anne Boleyn. She was tried and found guilty on charges of incest, adultery, and witchcraft. She was executed at her own request of the axe, which she feared, in the French style with a 2-handed sword. The Queen knelt, she repeated these words over and over again. Lord God, have pity on my miserable soul. As she did so, the swordsman distracted her by saying, Ma'am, where is my sword? This caused Anne to look up and expose her throat. And so, he struck. So swift, his blow. So sharp, his blade. Lifted up the head, so to assemble crowd, the Queen's eyes and lips continued to move in prayer, 5 heartbeats after the head left the shoulders. 5 years later, sir, can you get off my grass, please? 5 years later, 1541, was the return of Margaret Pole, the Countess of Salisbury. This dear old lady had committed no crime, neither did she have a trial. She was the mother of Cardinal Reginald Pole. The Cardinal the King would love to get his hands on, but like all sons, as you all know with us, he'd abandoned his mum to take the blame and he was safe in Rome doing whatever he wanted. So, as the King couldn't get the son, he took the mother and had her executed in his place. That's great. 70-year-old lady was the last of the warlike Plantagenet family. She refused to kneel or place her neck upon the block. She stated very loudly, all traitors on the block should die. I am no traitor, no, not I. My faithfulness stands fast, and so towards that block I shall not go. Nor one step take, as you shall see. Christ in thy mercy, save thou me. That left the executioner no choice. He simply hacked it to pieces where she stood right there on the green. On year 1542, axe unusually fell twice on the same day. This time, victims were Queen Catherine Howard and her lady in waiting. Catherine was executed for associations with Thomas Culpeper, a gentleman at court. On the scaffold, she spoke. She said, "Today, I die, the Queen of all England. I'd rather die, the wife of the only man I've ever truly loved, Thomas Culpeper." An amazing outpouring of love. It makes a lump to my throat every time I have to say it. That's with this Thomas Culpeper though, because he was stood right here at the time, fingers in his ears going on, really? There's a lot of trouble right now. I wish that was true. Fortunately for Thomas, he'd been hung 1 month earlier down the river at Tyburn. So, as Catherine Howard's barge came through Traitor's Gate, it moored at the bottom step. The guards lifted the covers from her barge, she stepped out, she came face to face, eye to eye with her lover. Thomas Culpeper's head got a spike on the bottom of Traitor's Gate. Jane Boleyn, Viscountess of Watford, her lady in waiting, Anne Boleyn's sister-in-law, was executed immediately afterwards. Her crime was, she was a gossip. Fair enough. Being a gossip at court, she had told everybody at court apart from one person. The one person at court she hadn't told was the King himself. It's taken 12 years for the accident to fall again. This time the victim was a tragic, innocent 16-year-old Jane Grey. Jane was a pawn in a struggle for power. Death of cousin Edward, she became queen, placed on the throne by her ambitious father. She ruled from the White Tower there for just 9 days. The rightful heir, Mary Tudor, regained the throne through force of arms. Lady Jane and her young husband, the 19-year-old Lord Guildford Dudley, returned to the Tower under sentence of death by trials for treason in the city. Lady Jane was held at number 4 Tower Green, the first green door you see over there. From one of the windows, she was held there by her guards and forced to watch as her husband left the beach tower to march out to Tower Hill for public execution. Her guards held her on that window for the hour it took for his body to return here to the chapel for burial. If that wasn't anguish enough for that 16-year-old girl, while she waited, all she could see here on the green were the carpenters, bearing the scaffold, ready for her own execution later the same afternoon, the 12th of February, 1554. A tragic, tragic day in English history. Now, every year, we have tens of thousands of people come here. They will ask us every question you can think of about Anne Boleyn. The two favourite ones at the moment are, what is the colour of the fur of Anne Boleyn's favourite dog? And also, what is the colour of the ribbon in the fur of Anne Boleyn's favourite dog? We don't know, but you keep asking. However, nobody ever asks anything about Lady Jane Grey. So I implore you, should you have the time and the inclination, please, please study it. It's tragic, it's moving. May well drive many of you, it drove me to tears. And most historians say she's the only true innocent to ever have lost her life here inside the Tower of London. Now, Lady Jane and her young husband, Guildford Dudley, along with 1,200 other people, have found their final resting place inside the beautiful Chapel Royal of St Peter and Beefeater. There's been a chapel on that site since the year 1110. The one you see right now is a 1520 Tudor original chapel. It's also a royal peculiar, which means it's administered directly by the Queen of England herself. Now, I'm going to spend 4 minutes answering those questions that if I don't, you're going to bug my colleagues with for the rest of the afternoon. The answer to question number 1 is, are you listening? The answer to question number 1 is, they're there! Right. Question number 2, how do we become yeoman warders? In order to become yeoman warders, we have to have achieved a minimum of 3 things in our lifetime. You have to serve a minimum of 22 years military service in the Army, the Navy, myself 31 years in the Royal Air Force, and yes, we even allow Royal Marines to enjoy. All reach the rank of senior warrant officer, highest rank we can reach that becoming an officer. We all hold the long service, a good conduct medal, the last medal on our medal ribbon. So it's the 3 basic requirements we need to apply for the job. So to get you the job, that merely allows you to apply. If you're successful, you leave your service, you're employed by the palace, we're members of the royal household. Okay, be a lady, be a yes, of course you can. There's Emma over there, look. We've got Moira's been here for 16 years, AJ's been here for 6 years, and Emma, 7 months, Emma, 8 months. You type, no, 11 months. Do we live here? Yes, we do. I mentioned most of us live between the walls, over, up here on the green, anywhere the blue door is either a yeoman warden's apartment or an officer of the Tower's house. Why don't I look like the yeoman warder on the Beefeater gin bottle? What a great question. Right. There are 2 reasons I do not look like that yeoman warder. Number 1, the yeoman warder on the Beefeater gin bottle has a black beard. As myself, these fine gentlemen over here know, Viking sunset beards are far, far better, aren't they, gentlemen? Are they, gentlemen? Yes! Even you two didn't clap. Come on, what's going on? Right. Secondly, and apparently more importantly, the yeoman warder on the Beefeater gin bottle is wearing his red state uniform. We only wear our red state uniform on state occasions when we work directly for the Queen herself. Up until 1858 though, we wore our red state uniform at all times. In 1858, a state uniform would cost somewhere between £500 and £1,000 to produce. Today, a brand new state uniform could be anywhere upwards of £20,000 to make. It's full of gold and silver thread. Victorian London was very polluted, tarnishing the gold and silver, turning our uniforms black. So, Prince Albert, Queen Victoria's husband, Robert Peel, the head of Metropolitan Police Force, who, by sheer coincidence, his family owned a tailor's shop, designed this uniform you see here today. It's called my blue undress. It's based upon a doublet. It's not a skirt, it's a doublet that a knight would wear beneath his armour. On my shoulder I have 3 buttons for the Father, the Son and the Holy Ghost. Down my side I have 5 buttons for the 5 rooms of Christ. On my head I wear a Victorian policeman's helmet. It's made of wood. If I wear it all day it gets very heavy. Right now, because I'm sweating a lot, it smells like a very dirty, very damp dog. And in my pocket I carry a Victorian policeman's whistle. I've got no idea why, but Prince Albert told me I have to carry it. So all yeomen, whether reds or blues, will carry a Victorian policeman's whistle at all times. E2R, was it me? Great question again, you're brilliant. Right, it's the Royal Cipher, the mark of my monarch. Yeoman orders here, the longest enthusiastic armed body of men and women anywhere in the world. So the first dedicated bodyguard in history. We were formed in 1485 for 3 tasks. Royal Bodyguard, Guardians of the Tower, Keepers of the Crown Jewels. Today, we are still the Royal Bodyguard, Guardians of the Tower, and Keepers of the Crown Jewels. So I wear my Queen's mark on my uniform. Elizabeth Secunda Regina. Elizabeth II is Queen. I'm what is known as a living cipher. Let me just check that. Yep, still here. So, if you have a change of monarch, my uniform will change. But if you look around here today, stonework, metalwork, you see something known as dead ciphers. Marks of other monarchs that will never be removed. You see 3 currently, BR, GR, ER. Victoria Regina, George Rex, Elizabeth Regina. So, if you have a change of monarch, the R will always remain. Today, stands for Regina is Queen, also stands for Rex is King. Do you wish to know why we're called Beefeaters? Yes. Good, because I'm going to tell you anyway. Right. I'm sure most of you here think you know. I know, you don't need to tell me. Well, I do, because none of you know the truth. And I am going to tell you that truth. Now, there's a reason there's so many benches right here, because this truth may well blow your mind. So if you are in nervous disposition, we suggest you sit down right now. Are you ready? We are called Beefeaters because, are you ready? Because we really don't know. The truth, nobody knows. So, the people in London christened us Beefeaters. The poor of London, they wrote anything down. The rich of London probably had a big party, got very drunk, they didn't write it down either. So nowhere in print has it ever appeared originally why we're called Beefeaters. The stories that you hear about tasting beef, pagan beef are exactly that, stories. Made up 1, 2, even 300 years after the event. And the truth is, nobody knows why. Now, we spent 50 minutes together, okay? I've just given you that shocking piece of information, okay? But I think together, we've bonded as a group. Can you feel it? I can feel that energy. So I feel I can now share something that's truly devastating with you. Do you think we can? So you can help me through this piece of bad news? Yes? Yes? Yes, sir? Yes, right. Apparently, according to all of my colleagues, including Emma, apparently, according to them, I stood right here, apparently, I do not know everything. I know, right? I argue with them every day, but no, apparently not. So, if you have any questions after my talk, please feel free to ask any questions of any of my colleagues you wish. Go inside the jewel house, remember big gold clock, go inside there. Jewel house wants to know everything that's there about gold, silver and precious stones inside that building. Likewise, White Tower Wardens, about the arms and armour inside there. I used to say, such a thing is a stupid question. However, on the 28th of September 2018, that all changed. That morning, a group of Yeoman Warders, including myself, was stood right here. By the way, the corrective name for a group of Yeoman Warders is a whinge. A whinge of Yeoman Warders was stood right here. Across the boardwalk came a couple. They introduced themselves as being from the great state of Louisiana. They said, maybe ask this question, of course, ask any question you like, there is actually no such thing as a stupid question. So, it began. Question number 1. That bridge over there, next to the Tower of London with the 2 towers on it, what do you call that bridge? We went, well, that bridge over there, next to the Tower of London with the 2 towers on it, we call that Tower Bridge. They all went, oh my God! What an amazing name for a bridge! How can anybody call a bridge next to the Tower of London with towers on it, Tower Bridge? At that point, we should have, and we could have, walked away. But we're nice, so we stayed. And so began question number 2. And I quote, does Tower Bridge go all the way across the river? Oh, no! Right. Now, in Warders Hall, we have something called the Daily Occurrence Book, where we are duty bound each day to write down anything unusual that may happen. When that book is complete, it then enters the National Archive in Kew and officially becomes the history of Great Britain. And so now, that couple, the state of Louisiana, and their stupid question are officially the history of my great country. So, if you do not wish to join them, please, I beg you, please, engage your brain or engage your mouth before you speak to any of my colleagues, or you will end up in that book. Thank you so much for listening to me. Please go and enjoy the rest of the town. Thank you.
I've got the map here for you if you want to take that home with you. Because that one might be good to put this out and hang
film
on
it.
the actual map, yeah?
Yeah. And aren't they buried in the chapel over here?
Sorry?
Aren't they buried in this chapel over here?
Sure.
Usually they end the tour with everyone sitting in the chapel. Oh, there you go. You're good. It's warm in here, huh?
I'll do it with her. I'll do it with her.
Look at how narrow the steps are. These are so narrow. You gonna be okay going up soon?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, my back's a lot better now because I've been having physio and she's giving me exercises to do. It's just this, it's this, I can walk. It's the sitting. So like driving for long distances I can't do, you know?
Yep.
It's really weird, but it's getting better.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I can't get the physio on the NHS and I'm having to pay for it, which is crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
So are we inside, like, was this one of the towers that we're in? Or is this
This is where
just part of the wall?
This is where they used to do the torturing in here.
Oh my goodness.
This is interesting. You heard the story about the pieces in the tower.
Wow. I would love to go ghost hunting here at night. That'd be so fun.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. And I saw somebody the other day trying to scribble on the wall with a stone, you know.
I
really
just asked
stop
him to let it
them.
go, that's it, for sure. Absolutely ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the bloody tower. Yes, and so this is where they used to do the executions.
Yeah, so we still don't know what Riley was doing there.
Well, that was pretty short, huh?
Yeah, that's only a little tower here. Yeah, the story of the two princes, because he was his brother's children, wasn't it? And they should have been go to the throne, but he didn't, so he imprisoned the two children in the tower. And then, as I say, there was no proof they were murdered, but they disappeared, and then they did find bones of children afterwards, so,
Oh no.
yeah.
That's so sad.
See that guy over there?
The crown jewels.
Got it on my phone anyway. Just like my sister, the one in Surrey. I mean, she's younger than me. She's only what, 62 or something. But you know, they're a very.
Now it's a little bit nicer out, huh?
Oh yeah, hardly. Honestly, Friday, I literally came in here and almost walked straight out again. It was just too many people. It was jam packed.
What's up, buddy?
Good
pretty comfortable around
Yeah.
people this close, huh?
Yeah.
It's a hot day, huh? I see you got a little tag on you. Oh, see you later.
Just missed.
Here we go.
¿Tú la compras? ¿Se la compras a ellos? Sí. Bueno, esa me la dieron.
Is that their original armor?
I think it must be. Unless, I don't know actually. It didn't say it was a replica, did it?
No.
No, actually it can't be because unless that was when Henry VIII was a lot slimmer because he did get quite big, didn't he?
Yeah. very peaceful in here. Now we go upstairs. Another set of stairs.
They did say how many steps were outside, actually. They told you there were so many hundred steps or something. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. It'd be cool to just spend the night here and just do a full-on ghost hunt. But I don't think they allow it, right?
No, they don't, no.
Even if a TV show came in here, I don't think they would allow it.
You can get invited. I think, like me being ex-member of services, I can apply to come to what they call the ceremony of the keys, which is when they lock up the tower at night and everything.
Oh yeah?
Come and watch that, I think.
Oh,
You
that.
have to apply to come, you know.
So that's a nightly tradition that they do?
Yeah, the ceremony of the keys it's called, where basically they're locking up the tower at night, yeah. I mean, my friend, so I've just got this yearly ticket, and it cost me about 60 or something pound. Her husband buys her as a present. It's kind of like her Christmas and birthday and all together, and it costs about £300 or £400. And for that, she gets invited to dinners and talks. They can come in here when it's closed, and some of the other places they get special tours and things. And
is so cool.
And they had it in upper chest, exposing the neck.
Oh yeah, gotta keep them entertained.
It's good because they're learning as well, aren't they? So,
Yeah. And down we go.
I didn't realise we'd gone up so far.
Yeah.
More. Oh, I suppose we came right up from outside. This is supposed to be taking us down to ground level again.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it's 203, 200, so I never count them. It's irrelevant. They're only steps.
That's huge.
Castle on the south coast called Dover Castle. And for years I've been wanting to go there, so I went there a few weeks back. Oh, it's amazing because you see it over across to France, but it's got an underground hospital. It's got an underground bunker that was until what was that many years ago? It was the government.
Really though, like you were at a beach area. It sounded like it. Yeah, they said that one What makes sense?
It's a shame because that used to be a little pub that was open, but it's roped off now.
Museum?
No, it used to be a